water. I didn't want anything
Straight
for
up.
people.
You're making me feel bad.
No, don't. Hi. Nice to meet you. Daisy, nice to. You were the MC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where did
last
you
minute
work?
sub in MC.
Oh, nice.
So I
Yeah, I bought my
worked
oven.
just left to move to Sun.
Very big.
Oh, Suncorp. Is that in Melbourne or no?
They got local, so I'm here.
It's true. It's
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm at the Department of Premier and Cabinet in Victor.
Oh, okay. It's like a
Microphones to some degree.
big ultra, right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try not to lick the microphone, please.
Yeah.
No licking the microphone.
I'm going to have some of this.
Don't drink that either. Make sure you get the right bottle.
Shot of that in a nice lager.
Lots of people.
Makes the speed debate.
I'm assuming you have laptops because we can have notes.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't feel so bad. I can notes.
Sort of tracking it along. A little bit.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna.
Cannot trust
I've never
to have it for me.
Oh,
Some sort of
I just have to wing it.
Like being able to take on.
do we get cut off to go over? Adam, I reckon.
Well, if you go more than a few seconds,
Okay.
tell you what, you try and sort of.
No, I'm not going to try. I liked you before, just then.
I'm not sure how this is going to work.
So real fun. We'll actually get him sort of
Bell go off.
Sharing mine? You got mine?
I think one for two.
maybe sharing a
No
little bit.
full stuff.
No, before I had my
Okay.
own pen testing company, doing a lot of virtual events.
It was
obviously.
hard in 2019 when sharing between three and the person way over there
Yeah, no,
hasn't
before
been
it's
like,
doing
oh
great.
no, the timer, quick.
Oh. I thought they were going to give
Been a lot
us
of
just
work.
40
Oh,
hours.
but I love it.
Yeah,
Doing really well.
I guess then that'll be 9 or however.
And then,
they couldn't have too many of us talking.
Yeah.
you know, I run a team of testers out of different parts of the country where they're located, and we do a lot of the offensive work.
Oh my god.
Defenses for no before than
Brilliant.
on the speaking circuit. Hopefully, when COVID's over, it'll be a lot easier.
back
Yeah,
up, yeah,
you know. I mean, it's crazy. This month we got like 6 virtual gigs all at once. It was weird because it was very slow. Companies weren't really booking it. And now it seems to be a change, probably because of the vaccine.
Yeah.
Of what?
But hopefully we'll get past
Yeah, I think, I mean, I
Really?
straight up think that,
No, thank you.
Do you want to put that closer to people?
I was going to say.
Yeah.
All of the big issues.
I'll have yeah,
She loves, like, you love me.
I don't do
Bad taste for Corona.
No one.
You'll have it a beer. Hang on. Now we need
You
an
got
open.
beer?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good, thanks.
Thanks, Georgia. That's instinct. We need an opener. Can we use yours?
It was nice to meet you.
my old. She came and she went.
Wait, is it down that end? There's one down that end.
Down to the instinct.
Maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, Val.
Those pants are
Val's
fluorescing like I
pants
love it.
are coming into their own. It's not Ossert. It's not Ossert
I
without
love
Val.
his pants.
With the shadow.
I can't even look at
One
you.
of the questions on one
That
of
might
the
be next to
presentations
slogan.
was, I can't hear the presenter.
It's not Ossert without Val's pants.
That is the whole theme. Val's pants.
Yes, I've got water.
That'll work.
Yeah.
That'll work. Maybe we all come wearing
Val's
like
pants.
some really exotic plus fours next year. Shaved.
You're done for the day, Laura.
Those pants.
I got most of my hair off this week.
Oh my god, I've got mine hanging
Kept a bit.
outside my door and it's terrifying.
Forward.
Kevin,
Monster in product.
Well, yeah, well, there's that. Oh, yeah. Well, I was going to pass made it for everybody at home. But I wouldn't
because, and I was just blown away by it so much.
and I made it from last May till
I love the
about
idea of
5
it.
weeks ago.
Right.
Wow.
And then I woke up one morning.
Thank you. Oh,
I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
I got a
I woke up one morning, my hair had curled itself out, was in my ear. And
Can I help you get back into the house? I might have left.
oh yeah,
Couldn't find my car keys.
almost at that age and stage of life.
Actually, I had
that's
one
a
of those
factor.
and it got confiscated.
Really?
Yeah, straight up. TSA took it all back run.
These
Once Wells
ones.
are handcuffed him too.
Casey, like,
Well, that's nice to know. keep that with your...
Never ever need to know that.
No, I'm such a good person.
There's something for us to change.
Buongiorno, Ivana.
Oh, sure. What do you want us to do?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Whatever that word was.
Yeah, go back to
Go and sit down, have a drink.
Resume for a sec. Apparently the microphones are hot, so we shouldn't say fuck or shit or anything.
Wait, what? We're not allowed.
I know.
Jesus, you're like, we're not allowed to swear? I'm screwed, I can't
basically they've
talk.
been listening to
gradually. I really want to pack my talk.
Talking about the fact that I find it useful to be able to get out of handcuffs. Good, that's awesome.
Really? That's so boring.
But you know what? Adam told us that the microphones were hot, and we all forgot.
That's why I always
Good
keep
OPSEC there.
yeah, that's why I always keep the handcuffs and the lube separate.
Camping. Shirt was they bought a bunch of cheap Kmart shirts and fabric paint.
Yeah.
And just did some stencils so you had to paint your own.
Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final session of AusCert 2021, the traditional AusCert speed debate. Before we do that, I'm going to make some people very happy by reading out the winners of our various competitions. If these people could all make their way to the registration desk once we're done, identify themselves to claim their prize. The Netscope prize has been won by Tiffany Murphy. Congratulations, Tiffany. The Recorded Future prize, David Clayton from the Department of Health Victoria. The Virus Total voucher, Valdemar Jacobson. AusCert 22 Rego, Helen Aronis, who said something lovely about me on LinkedIn, so well done, Helen. The ASA Cybercon Rego, Ben Moody, M-U-D-I-E. The Virus Total voucher, there's 4 of them, one for Albert Oo, another one for Tom S., another one for David Clayton, who's picked up his second prize, and another one for Adam Dawes. The Decipher Bureau Recruitment Prize, Sunesia. The UQ Cyber Hamper, Russ Boviard, or Bovaird, and the Bit Defender JBL headphones, Con Nicolau, and unbeatable on the Galaga highest score on a single life with 53,530 points, Jonathan Levine. Well played, Jonathan. A sign of a youth's. Well, yeah. There was no redraw on that. I think he had about the top 11 scores, Jonathan. He didn't move from there for a couple of days. Well done. This is our speed debate. If you haven't seen it before, 6 topics debated by 6 speakers each topic for just 1 minute each. We have 5 microphones on the desk, speakers. Those microphones are being left on throughout the entire debate. All mics are hot, so if someone's saying something you don't agree with and you whisper it under your breath, we will all hear what you're saying. I'm not saying don't do it, but we will all hear. You've got 1 minute. Normally, you had the view of a monitor with the minute counting down. That monitor is nicely located here for me to see directly behind you, so I might cut a tiny bit of slack and let you go for a few seconds past a minute, but by minute 5 I'm winding you up, and I remind you, some of the very best 1 minute speeches in the history of the speed debate have been only about 15 seconds long. Audience members, you'll vote in the app immediately upon the conclusion of the last speech in each topic, and we'll see how we go from there. Our panellists are Mike Holm, Colby Pryor, Eric Pinkerton, Casey Ellis, Jess Dodson, Kevin Mitnick, Troy Hunt, Daisy Wong, and David Jorm. Welcome. No. There you go. My apologies. David's been replaced by Andrew. Anthony.
For fuck's sake.
Good friend of mine. Anthony Caruana, who, every time I see the name David, if I accidentally say David at any stage, Anthony, just run with it. Okay. Our first topic, the supply chain is out of scope for my risk management process. It's someone else's problem. We'll have Mike, Colby and Eric up against Daisy, Anthony and Jess. First speaker, first debate, 2021 speed debate. Take it away, Mike.
Hello. Betty is the CISO in Evil Corp.
After she carefully considers how to allocate her stock options from the previous year's performance bonus, she opens the next email in her inbox. She reads the first sentence only, because that's all Sizos have got time for. And it says, as you know, Allsafe and Steel Mountain are suppliers to Evil Corp. And that's all she's read. She knows that Evil Corp has rock-solid legal agreements in place with those organisations, and they're in favour of Evil Corp, so she closes the email and moves on to ordering her latte. Ladies and gentlemen, the supply chain is legal's problem, not Betty's. Thank you, Adam.
There you go, Mike. Thank you very much. Okay, to take up the opposition, Daisy, fire away.
Thank you. I think you're just being lazy, Evil Corp. You're just outsourcing it to legal. You think they can do it all. But I just think it's risky. It's like buying a hot dog. Someone else is making the burger, the bread. I don't even know if I'm actually getting a pork sausage or if it's kangaroo or something. I'm really freaking out. So I think you're just being super lazy and just saying that, legal will handle it. I don't even know if legal knows cyber. I mean, that's why we have a lot of issues. I think Evil Corp, you're being super lazy.
Thank you very much, Daisy. Well done. Okay, Colby, take it away.
You're all just going off opinion. I actually have a professional's perspective on this, and I asked them about this beforehand, and I got a direct quote, and it's, don't worry about the supply chain, it doesn't matter. And that took me back at first, and I said, what are you saying, Gary? But his workshop was very insightful, and it taught me a whole lot about this.
Thank you very much, Colby. Okay. Anthony, are you ready, my friend? Anthony, take it away, Anthony.
Let's be realistic. Evil Corp is run by complete and utter dimwits. The supply chain is everyone's problem. If anyone had food poisoning, put your hand up if you've had food poisoning. Because if you have, you know the supply chain sucks big time. You sit around, you end up on the toilet for hours, shitting yourself, you end up driving a porcelain bus for hours, stomach cramps for days. For goodness sake. The supply chain is everyone's problem because we all suffer at the end of it.
Okay, thank you very much, Anthony. To wrap it up for the affirmative, our final speaker, take it away, Eric.
Excuse me, I'm just sanitising my hands when I realise I'm sitting next to someone who's got terrible food poisoning. Look, if we are to go down that road, then we are expected to visit every oyster farm before we eat out. I don't think we'd ever get to eat. I think really supply chain risk is a little bit like quantum physics because the state actually changes when you look at it. If you actually start doing supply chain risk, you quickly work out that it's no longer cost effective to actually have suppliers, so you have no supply chain, therefore the risk is gone. It's kind of like Schrodinger's cat. So vote yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Eric. Wrapping up the affirmative case. Final speaker for the negative. The supply chain is out of scope for my risk management process. It's someone else's problem. To disagree, wrap it up, Jess.
Absolute bullshit. Do you really trust legal, honestly? You trust your legal department? And you were saying that it's like quantum mechanics, that the state changes when you look at it? So look at it. That's the point. We want it to change. That's out of scope. Said no attacker ever. So everything is in scope. If it's a risk, it's in scope.
Okay, there you go. Thank you very much, Jess. You have 30 seconds via the app to vote for the affirmative or the negative. It's the Evil Corp versus the Porcelain Bus. 30 seconds to lodge your votes, and I'll declare a winner. Take it away. And we have 70% to the negative, 30% to the affirmative. Our winners are Daisy, Anthony, and Jess. Well done. Okay. Topic number 2. There is no cyber security skills gap. Jess, Casey, and Kevin will take the affirmative. Daisy, Anthony, and Colby the negative. There is no cyber security skills gap. Take it away, Jess.
There isn't. I come from a security background, said no one. We all come from IT. We've all been sysadmins or developers. I am a system administrator who just managed to fall into security. That's how I got my job. That's pretty much how most of us got our roles. So there isn't a cyber security skills shortage. There are just people who are doing the job, and they're not called security people. They are our ops people, and we need them to be included in the job that we are doing. We need to trust them to do that job and bring them along with us. We don't have a skills shortage. They've got the skills. We just need to use them.
Thank you very much, Jess. Okay, first speaker for the negative. Daisy, take it away.
Hey Jess, you know I love you, but I fully disagree. I think we're definitely all here because we want to learn more about security, and that's why we have issues with developers. My partner's there, he's a developer, he's going to hate me saying this, but he's not very secure. And that's why he needs to learn cyber security so he can code more secure by design. I'm going to say something unpopular again. I feel like there's definitely a skills gap. We've got a lot of nerdy pen testers here in the industry. I think we also, within cybersecurity skills, there's like the people skills, being able to translate between tech and non-tech. That's also a skill that we're lacking, hence why I'm here. I came from a marketing background, and you're all listening to me today. So, Dave, Adam, back to you.
Thank you very much, Daisy. Okay, to take up the case for the affirmative, arguing there is no cybersecurity skills gap. Casey, fire away.
I appreciate your comments, Daisy, but clearly the conspiracy created by recruiters to perpetuate this myth of the cybersecurity skills gap has sucked you in. I'm sorry to see that. The face smash vulnerability in Apple was found by a 15-year-old kid playing Minecraft. There's 200,000 people signed up on the Bugcrowd platform. Gamers and developers make some of the best hackers in the world if you connect them in. I would posit, and clearly everyone would agree, that there is no absence of people, therefore no skills gap. We're just not connecting them to the problem in the right way.
Thank you very much, Casey. Anthony, you're on the negative for this one. There is no cybersecurity skills gap. Take it away, Anthony.
Look, we know that over 90% of breaches start when you compromise an endpoint. And that gap's there because so many end users have piss-weak passwords, and they use them over and over and over again. People are idiots. There is a skills gap. It's not in this room, people. It's out there. It's the bloody users. They've got the skills gap. You know, they put their phone numbers, their photo IDs and all that crap on social media. There is a skills gap. It's not here. It's the world full of dumb people.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Okay. Kevin, your first chat for the afternoon. To wrap it up for the affirmative, there is no cybersecurity skills gap. Take it away, Kevin.
Yeah, there's absolutely no skills gap because we could simply use AI and machine learning. We could just automate it all, so we don't need any skilled people here. But I got to tell you a quick story, is when I was in China speaking for Tencent, I went to this cybersecurity company, and they took me on this tour. It was like a Disneyland for all their security testers there. I mean, they had all the equipment and all the toys in the world. And then I asked the guy, how much do you actually make a year? And it was about $28,000 to $30,000 a year for a senior guy. I go, my God, that's nothing. So we're outside talking. We actually walk outside the company, and then they go, hey, if you're interested, we actually sell 0 days on the side. So if you're interested in buying any 0 days, you know, we have the skills, right, to help you. So if we're talking about China, I don't think they have any skills gap whatsoever, and probably Russia doesn't have much either because of the recent news that's going on in the world.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Okay, to wrap it up for the negative, Colby, fire your best shot.
I mean, there's obviously a gap. Kevin just said, when I was in China, not everyone gets to fly around for work all the time. There's definitely people up here, and then there's people down there. And when you have people around who were there to build the industry in the first place, the new people coming in have no chance. I mean, look, there's Troy right here, Daisy's right here, I'm here. Everyone else is way down. There's a massive gap. It's a vacuum.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Colby, the first person to ever proudly identify himself as part of the 1%. I love it. Okay. you've got 30 seconds to vote. Go to the app. You've got the little icon there to voting in the speed debate. Topic number 2, fire away. I'll point out, it's listed in the poll as A is the negative and B is the affirmative too, I've just noticed. So. And the negative one with 2/3 of the vote. Congratulations, Daisy. Congratulations, Anthony. And congratulations, Colby. Okay, let's move. Yeah, give them a round of applause. Great stuff. Topic number 3. It's the government's responsibility to remove web shells. Kudos to the FBI. It's the government's responsibility to remove web shells. Kudos to the FBI. Colby, Mike, and Troy will take on the affirmative. Kevin, Eric, and Casey will be the negative. Colby, fire away.
Straight back in. The government can always do more. You know that feeling when you're chilling out on the back patio and you've gone up and you've gone to go to sleep and you're like, did I lock my back door? They should lock your back door. And when you're like scared at night and you think there's a monster under your bed, the ACSC should be there to check for monsters under your bed. I want the ACSC to personally tuck me in, kiss me on the forehead, and patch my Exchange servers.
Okay, thank you very much, Colby. It's the government's responsibility. Kevin for the negative.
Now, I have a little bit of a bias here with the FBI looking into my stuff. That's just as an aside. But do I think the FBI should be accessing, well, first of all, yeah, we don't want malware. That's a good thing. I get that, right? But do we want the FBI to actually start accessing your systems and running a command shell command to delete a web shell? No. Hell no. I wouldn't want that if I was a system administrator. But I think this is all security theater because the FBI, all they did was do one delete command to delete the web shell, but they didn't check if the server is actually vulnerable, did they? So what does that mean? Threat actor just reruns the exploit, proxy login, and they're back where they started again. So could this all be security theater where the FBI wants to kind of test the waters? Hey, can we go ahead and access systems? Are people going to really complain? Is this going to be a big issue? Because if not, maybe we could grab more power, and the next time we're not going to just delete that web shell. What we're going to do is start maybe checking for things on your server to make sure you've been a good boy or girl.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Okay, to take up the case for the affirmative, Mike, fire away.
Thank you, Adam. So young Carl always wanted to be part of the government's cybersecurity defence capability. As a defender of bank security at the time, he wore a bat belt, he had a pager, a mobile phone, and a set of keys on his belt that could open any door in the city. He sure looked the part. But after wave of phishing attack, his CIO said to him, "No, Carl, it's not our problem to go out and patch all of those crappy WordPress servers that have been popped. That's the government's job." So, Carl left the bank, and now he works for the government, and he's going to patch your unpatched crappy WordPress server, whether you like it or not. And ladies and gentlemen, you'll be a lot safer for it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mike. Tell you what, if Ozcert ever launches a version of Play School, I know who's going to be the best for reading the bedtime stories for the kids. Eric, take up the negative, my friend. What have you got for us?
Sorry, I dropped off there. Yeah, so kudos to the FBI, but last time I looked, we're living in Australia. Genuinely did drop off. We're living in Australia. We're not living in the US, so we're not within the FBI's jurisdiction. So essentially what you're saying is that Scotty from carpeting and his bunch of idiots should be removing the web shells. And I think with the current government we have, if you task them with removing the web shells, the most likely outcome would be that they would give a multi-million-dollar grant to their friends living in far north Queensland to cull the number of spider crabs on the Great Barrier Reef. No.
Thank you very much, Mike. Okay. Eric, for the negative, take it away. That was Eric. I'm an idiot.
Oh,
Sorry,
I dropped off there.
No. Making his debut in the 2021 speed debate, Troy, what have you got for us wrapping up the affirmative on this case?
Well, I think we all agree we feel a lot safer with the FBI keeping Kevin out of our servers. So, yeah, clearly they have a role to play. It is the government's job to keep us safe. We trust the government to drop bombs on people. Why wouldn't we trust them to come into servers? And the thing is as well, like if they're in there, it's a lot easier to have a look around and do all the other things that they have to do court orders and shit for otherwise. So, you know, that's an opportunity is there as well. I think everyone agrees the more power the government has, the better we're all off, and the better job they're able to do in looking after all of us. So, like, case closed. It's easy.
Thank you very much, Troy. Wrapping it up for the affirmative there, and to close it for the negative, Casey, what have you got to say?
Alrighty, so that scene in the Hackers movie, it's while the song Voodoo Child is playing, Acid Burn and Zero Cool are fighting over the tape in the TV station. They've basically both broken in. There's a tape they're trying to get control of, and and eventually it all just blows up and falls apart. So imagine, you as the business owner are the TV station. The FBI is probably Zero Cool, because that checks out. And the bad guy is Acid Burn. And imagine happening that right across the internet. I feel that this is a dangerous escalation, and the only way to prevent anarchy is to unite as an industry and rally against this terrible, terrible trend.
Okay, there we go. Casey wrapping it up there. You've got 30 seconds to vote, ladies and gentlemen. The topic was, it's the government's responsibility to remove web shells. Kudos to the FBI. The affirmative, Colby, Mike and Troy. Negative, Kevin, Eric and Casey. And when you go to lodge your vote, make sure you've worked out which one's the affirmative and which one's the negative on the voting panel. Negative is option A, affirmative is option B.
Troy, I've just been on GoDaddy, and haveibeengoverned.com is for sale if you want to be interested.
It's spelt
Someone register
spelt without an O.
10 seconds left to get your votes in. And the winners of debate number 3. The negative again, 76%, a crushing win for Kevin, for Eric, and for Casey. Congratulations. Let's move on to topic number 4. It's not a breach, it's a scrape. It's not a breach, it's a scrape is our topic. Kevin, Jess and Troy will take the affirmative. Colby, Anthony and Casey will run the negative. Take it away, Kevin.
I should have had my attorney make this argument a few decades ago. It wasn't a hack, it was a scrape. Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess it's in the eyes of the beholder, because here we have Facebook. They actually sued a company named Power for doing a web scrape back some time ago because they wanted to develop some competing products. So Facebook said, oh no, you can't do that. That violates the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act of exceeding authorized access. And then, of course, we have the breach, I think it was in 2017 or 18, on their, one of their, was it calendar importer or to do with the phone numbers, right? So basically through this API, you could basically plug in the phone number and it will link it to the other people's, to the real names of the people that have that actual number. And now Facebook says, we don't have to report this because this wasn't a breach at all. This was just a simple web scrape. So it really depends on what your liability is of what position you're going to take. But I actually think it's never a data breach, it's always a scrape.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Okay, Colby, you're leading it off for the negative. What have you got for us?
Your Honor.
Just a scrape. See how far that gets you. I don't know if anyone has taken a walk around the coast out here, but if you try to walk out to the beach, there's a car park with a couple of Lambos out there, and I'm not really sure they're going to get off with that. Plus, a scrape is a big thing. I think anyone here that has ever had kids or maybe a niece or a nephew knows that a scrape is a big deal.
Thank you very much, Colby. Okay, Jess, what have you got to say on this topic? It's not a breach, it's a scrape.
I'm coming at this from a uniquely female perspective, and I'm sure a lot of the women in the room will appreciate this one. Ladies, when you have a pap smear, do you think that's a breach? Or is that a scrape? Okay? They're not taking the whole uterus, they're just taking a tiny piece of it. Just like we're seeing with some of these attacks. It's not a breach, it's just a scrape.
Thank you, Jess. Anthony, I'd love to know your thoughts on the topic now. It's not a breach, it's a scrape.
I think I'm a bit fucked, to be real. Look, at the end of the day, this is just a big semantic argument, isn't it? I mean, look, the affirmative can argue the semantics of this as much as they like, but we know that when someone gets their hands on your shit and you don't want them to have their hands on it, you feel violated, you feel breached. It's that simple.
Whoa, mic drop. Okay, thank you very much, Anthony. Troy, wrap this one up for us.
I think between Colby's Chewbacca defence and Jess's story that I could never tell myself, for obvious reasons, I think we've pretty much won it. But anyway, regardless, a breach is when someone takes something that's not meant to be there, that you're not meant to have access to. This whole scraping stuff is like literally taking things that you've published to the internet. The Facebook thing the other day, it's like, oh my God, 500 million phone numbers. Because 500 million people put their phone number into Facebook, and you know when you read the terms and conditions and it says you're okay with this? Yeah, there's a bit in there that says you're okay with this. And then suddenly everyone's shocked. It's not a breach, it's literally information that you have published to the internet yourself. It's like a phone book. If you pick the phone book up, it's not a breach. Is it even a scrape? But it's definitely not a breach.
Okay, thank you very much, Troy. And to wrap it up for the negative, Casey, over to you.
Just skipping over the clear conflict of interest there, Troy. Let's move on. So Cambridge Analytica, everything that happened around that, it was functionally a scrape. The ability to scrape that facilitated what they were able to do. That changed the way the user, which is the perspective I'm coming from on this one, thought about trusting the internet, trusting democracy, trusting each other. To them, was that a breach or a scrape? I think if anything happens on the internet that ultimately constitutes to a wholesale breach of user trust against what they were expecting, that's, to me, good enough to be a breach. That's a breach. And that will eventually become a breach in law if it carries on down that track. So that's my actually kind of serious answer.
Thank you very much, Casey. Okay, there we go. You've got 30 seconds to vote on the topic. It's not a breach, it's a pap smear. Kevin, Jess and Troy are the affirmative. Colby, Anthony and Casey are the negative. Log those votes now for us, please. We've switched around now. A is the affirmative and B is the negative. So please pay attention to who you're voting for. A affirmative, B negative.
Just wondering if this business card would be as attractive if it was a gynecologist rather than a security expert.
3 seconds to get those votes in. And the affirmative get across the line there. Well done, Kevin. Well done, Jess. And well done, Troy. Okay. Topic number 5. Inserting malicious code. It's not a hack, it's a prank, bro. Inserting malicious code. It's not a hack, it's a prank, bro. Daisy, Colby and Eric will take the affirmative. Mike, Troy and Casey will refute. Daisy, take it away. Inserting malicious code. It's not a hack, it's a prank, bro.
Thanks, Adam. Can we all have a bit of fun? Like, I don't get why everyone is trying to be the fun police now. If I think it's funny, it's funny. Like, my perception is my reality, so let's just all loosen up a bit. It's just a little code. Might have caused some issues, but not every malicious code causes death, so let's just relax a bit. And yeah, I think we just all need to loosen up and learn how to just have a joke.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Daisy. Mike, what have you got for us?
Okay. Sarah Jane collects intelligence. Her AI-powered robot dog helps her with this task. She has literally enough information on all of us to own any of our devices or us personally. Now, what does she do with that information? Her fan base would be terrified if she were to actually go and install something malicious on one of our devices. Worse still, what if someone impressionable saw that and thought that was funny and did it? No, ladies and gentlemen, that's not a joke.
There you go. Okay, thank you very much, Mike. Colby, on the affirmative, what have you got for us?
I mean, Daisy's got it all figured out. Like, we're just having a laugh, mates. Like, malicious code is like, you know, what are you going to do? Make security researchers accountable for their actions? Ooh. We're just having a laugh with the mates and having a beer. It's fine.
Okay, thank you very much, Colby, on the bro team there. Troy, what have you got to say in rebuttal to that?
I want to know how the code got there, because like that's kind of the question, isn't it? Like if it's malicious code, how did it get there? Because if you did it yourself, well then it's not a hack because it's your own server, right? But if you did it to someone else, then it's a hack by definition. So if it's malicious and it's from someone else, it's a hack. Like, I don't get why this is even a discussion. Yeah, frankly, if it's a prank, I don't think you're doing it right.
There you go. Okay, Troy. Eric, wrapping it up for the affirmative. What have you got for us, Eric?
As a very wise man once said, what a crock of shit. So, if it's a prank, it's got to be funny. And I think we can all agree. If I hack into a hospital and mess with somebody's infusion pump, that's not funny, right? But if I was to say, hack into the Ubiquiti network of a very well-known internet personality, and I don't know, insert malicious code on his jet ski, so it did a maximum of 4 knots every time it was orientated towards his boat ramp, that would be funny, right? And if you're laughing at that and you're voting no, then you're lying to yourself. So vote yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Eric. Casey, to wrap it up for the negative. What have you got, Casey?
So according to the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, which is a beautifully written piece of legal code, the Computer Misuse Act in the UK, the Computer Crime Act in Australia, exceeding unauthorised access to any computer system is a hack in the criminal sense. So I think the law has already spoken very clearly, and I think in a way that couldn't be misinterpreted and used in the wrong way, and in a way that everyone can follow and really settle this issue ahead of time. I think as well, you know, the opposing team has really kind of illustrated this point. You know, a disrespect for authority, which is often manifested in these so-called pranks, is really the root of all, you know, future criminal behaviour. And if anything, we need to be discouraging that sort of levity in such a, you know, important field such as computer security.
Okay, thank you very much, Casey. Wrapping it up there. That mention of specific legislation was dangerously close to a fact. Casey, that's your last warning. We've got 30 seconds to vote on this topic. Inserting malicious code. It's not a hack, it's a prank, bro. A is the negative, B is the affirmative this time round. Yeah. 10 seconds. And as the voting wraps up in our second last speed debate for 2021, the negative have absolutely rolled it in. Well done, congratulations, Mike, Troy, and Casey. Mike, Troy, and Casey picking up the win there. Our final topic. I don't need a sock, I've got a CM. I don't need a sock, I've got a CM. Jess, Anthony, and Mike will take the affirmative. Daisy, Eric, and Troy will pick up the cudgels for the negative. So Jess, take it away. I don't need a sock, I've got a CM.
I'm biased. I love Azure Sentinel and think it's amazing. And when it's put in well and you spend time on it, you don't need people because it does it all for you. We have machine learning, we have AI, we have the ability to have one person doing the job of what 20 or 30 people would have been doing in the past. Why do we need a room full of people who could be doing way more interesting things, sitting there looking at screens when we could be making our SIEM work better for us?
Okay, thank you very much, Jess. Daisy, what have you got to say in opposition to this final topic?
Last time I checked, a theme was a tool, and we call idiots a tool for a reason, because they're not very good. Last time I checked, humans were smarter than computers. I would like to think so, because last time I checked, AI sucks, and it can't even distinguish between a dog and a cat.
Okay, thank you very much, Daisy. Anthony, what have you got for us, mate?
We're going to call this out. A sock is really a seam that's just got some pretty screens and a bunch of people sitting around playing Galaga. We all know this. If you've got a seam, you've got a sock already. It might be a pretty shithouse sort of sock, but it's a place where you get lots of alerts that you're going to ignore and collect and store at great expense. So if you've got a seam, you can just save your money. You don't need a sock because you're going to ignore it anyway.
Eric, your final contribution for the afternoon. What have you got for us, mate?
I don't need a sock, I have a seam. If you haven't got a sock, you haven't got a pew-pew map, which means you can't do cybers properly, right? Let's put this in context that everyone can understand. I don't need a cleaner because I've got a Roomba. Really? Where's that going to go, right? I don't need, can you imagine being on a plane and it's like, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. You are currently flying at 36,000 feet. At least that's what it says on the app that I'm looking at from here in the Philippines. We have made the cockpit of this plane into a bar for the first class passengers because the airline has decided that they got an autopilot, so therefore don't need a pilot. So no, you need a sock to drive your seam and you need a pew-pew map, otherwise you can't do cybers properly. Sorry. Truth bomb.
Thank you very much, Eric. Okay, boys and girls, to wrap it up for the affirmative, let's go to our story time now with Mike.
Little Johnny went to UQ Cyber School, graduated, then the Baydam Solutions Pathways program placed him at the Australian Taxation Office in their cybersecurity team. Not the SOC, the cybersecurity team. Then he went to the AusCert conference, met some lovely sponsors and vendors. They sold him, wait for it, a seam. He went back to his office, he used the seam, and everybody was happy. You don't need a sock.
There you go. Thank you very much, Mike. And Troy, our final contribution for the Speed Debate 2021. Take it away, Troy.
Have you seen the theme across this? It always comes back to the screens. Everyone wants the screens, right? You got to have screens. If you get a seam, you get a big kick-ass server, you might get one screen. What you need is you need a sock. Everyone knows you need that. We've all seen the movies, right? Like screens and stuff everywhere. We don't need a seam, we need screens. That's why we need a sock.
Okay, thank you very much, Troy. Our final debate topic for the afternoon. I don't need a sock, I've got a seam. Jess, Anthony and Mike are the affirmative. Daisy, Eric and Troy are the negative. You've got 30 seconds to cast your vote now. A is negative, B is affirmative. And the final set of results. The debate's been won by the negative, Daisy, Eric and Troy. Give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. So, at the end of the day, and I'm just going to, that's 50%. Okay. We have the following results, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of fun thrown in. There were 10 people involved in today's debate, and finishing just outside the top 9 with 1 win from 5 debates on 20%. Congratulations, Colby. Well done. On 25%, 1 win out of 4 debates. Congratulations, Mike. Then we have a logjam of 3 people, all on scores of 50%. Congratulations, Eric, Casey and Jess. Kevin Mitnick making his speed debate debut. 2 out of 3, 66%. Well played, Kevin. Nasty of me to forget Anthony again. My apologies on 50%. Anthony, well done. And our winners tied on 75%. We've got the seasoned veteran Troy Hunt tied with first-timer Daisy Wong. So I'm going to go what the hell and declare Daisy the overall winner of the speed debate for 2021. Well done, guys. Great stuff. We have a couple of small things to do in wrapping up AusCert 2021. First of all, if Simon is nearby, he's going to come and announce our Speed Lego Build prize. Simon, where are you? Here we go. In the very back corner of the room, as far as anyone from the stage, and carrying a large amount of material, so I will just pad for a couple of seconds as he makes his way to the stage. Simon's got... Oh, that's a giant piece of Lego, right? I thought it was a gas burner or something. Fantastic. That giant Star Wars ship, you were displaying that 49 hours of building for 2 experts. Ooh, okay. What have you got there, mate? Take it away. Come to the mic.
Thanks, Adam. Our Speed Build Challenge this afternoon. I would like to make special commendation to Jess for her amazing performance this afternoon. But unfortunately, she was pipped at the post with a time of 29.76 seconds. Congratulations to Victor Bradbury. Okay, so these are just some of our giveaways.
Look at that bad boy.
So for our A-Wing Starfighter today, quick into the box.
Morald Marcus Inghams.
Morale here, well done, Morale. This is the lunar lander module. Congratulations to Greg Finnison. And the Saturn V rocket. Congratulations to Victor Bradbury. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We had a great time being here with the Lego Again AusCert. Thank you to Beck, thank you to Mike. Hopefully we'll see you next year.
Yeah, always tremendous supporters of AusCert. Give them a round of applause. Thanks again, mate. Always great stuff, Simon. Dr. David Stockdale is going to say a couple of words to wrap it all up. David, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Adam, and thanks to everybody in the speed debate. It was very entertaining as always. So here we are. We're at the end of the AusCert 2021 conference. So we've had a great time. I mean, everybody has said exactly the same, what a great time it's been. It's great to see people, they've said. It's great to see people who they've only met virtually before, and I'm sure a lot of us are in that situation. We might love our technologies, but the reality is we actually love seeing our friends and colleagues, so it has been fantastic. But a massive heartfelt thanks to everyone, to our fantastic speakers and our wonderful delegates, to Adam for hosting, thanks Adam, and to our sponsors, and as Adam's always pointed out, without the sponsors this would not be possible. So to Consul, who have delivered a fantastic hybrid AV solution, and to GEMS for the organisation of the conference logistics. And to the Star, well, they've been absolutely wonderful hosts for us, and we look forward to being back with them. But my final thanks goes to the AusCert team, and especially Beck and Laura. And I know Beck's over there, and Laura's, I think, over here. You've worked tirelessly to make this fantastic event come to life. And I really have worked tirelessly, and we see that. This is not only just a conference this time, this is a conference that's in hybrid mode, and I'm repeating you, Beck, I'm sorry, I didn't think of this myself, but I'm being honest. Yeah, it's a conference that's in hybrid mode, it had COVID restrictions, and it's in a new location all at the same time. So not only do these two deliver a fantastic conference, they've delivered it under really, really lots of pressure and unusual circumstances this year. So well done. And I think just, thank you. So lastly, for those people who noticed my slip-ups of saying in the opening remarks referring to 2020, well, quite frankly, 2020 can piss right off. OzCert is back in person, and bring on OzCert 2022. Safe travels, and see you all very, very soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, David. As we wrap it up, I will just repeat one more time the point that you made about this being in a new venue. The staff have been fantastic, but unless you've worked inside events before, it's easy to not realise how much extra work is done the first time you go to a new venue, the amount of corporate memory that you've lost, the training up from beginning to them. I'm not in any way, the staff here at Star are fantastic, but they've never dealt with us before to bring them up to speed, and just when little things go wrong, we'll ring Michael. He's the guy who sorts out napkins. Who's the guy who sorts napkins here, etc. So Beck and Laura and the team, you've been absolutely exceptional and can be truly, truly proud of this effort. Thank you all very much. We'll see you in 2022. Another round of applause for our speed debaters. What a great way to finish the day. Enjoy. Travel safely.